It has nothing to do with how hard you work. Suddenly the manufacturing facility shuts down, and the place that you went to work for 25 years is gone. Or maybe you work for Enron, and the people at the top were mismanaging your pension, and so even though you worked hard for 30 years, you suddenly don't have a pension or whatever. You're doing everything right. You didn't break the law. You went to school. You got the training. You're showing up to work every day, and then suddenly everything's just done and it stops. Well, what happened here? Well, I want you to really think about this. This is where consciousness comes in. What occurred really is, to some extent, it's almost like the weather. If I know if the weather forecast tells me it's going to be a sunny day, and I put on my swim trunks, and I plan to go to the beach, and I grab my beach ball and my swim trunks and my towel, and I'm headed to the beach, and then suddenly it just starts raining. And it doesn't stop, and it doesn't stop raining all day. What kind of ruins my day? I've made all these plans. I was going to meet my friends. We're going to have a party. We're going to have a barbecue. Now we can do none of that because of something that happened that is out of my control. Now, in economics, they call that exogenous. That is an exogenous variable that really just we have no idea how to control that. Well, another way to look at that would be kind of like God decided that today we're not gonna have a party. Today it just ain't gonna be our day because God decided that it's going to rain. None of us can control the weather. Well, to some extent, you have what I would refer to as these economic gods who decide that it's going to rain on your parade, that you did everything right, you prepared, you worked hard, you did a good job, you're going to work every day and all this. But the economic gods just change something. They shut the business down. The company gets taken over by a merger, and there's a corporate merger or an acquisition, and suddenly the company you work for, you used to work for this restaurant, but now they've been taken over by this other restaurant, and it's affecting you. Or they decide they want to do layoffs because they have to increase shareholder returns. So they just say, we're going to cut 50,000 jobs, just like General Motors the GM just cut tens of thousands of jobs. I believe it was probably related to AI. They won't say it, but I bet AI probably played a role in this. And I can tell you that as a person who owns stock in GM, I saw my stock price kind of tick up a little bit because they cut all these jobs. And this is unfair, but this is just what it is. This is so the economic gods are kind of playing with each other, and it's almost like when we're sort of positioned as mice, and the elephants are like dancing and running and beating each other up, and we're getting crushed by the weight of the elephants, or when the gods are playing with each other or fighting each other, that causes thunderstorms and everything, and we don't know what's happening, but we just know that the economic gods are just doing all this crazy stuff and kicking our asses. And so one of the things that I believe is that economic consciousness is very important because you can go to the next level. First level was give a man a fish. Second level is teach a man to fish. Third level is owning the pond that owning the land that the pond is on. And then when you're the owner of the land, your thinking changes because to some extent you've gotten a little bit closer to God. I've explained to you all that consciousness literally is getting closer to God at every level. So what's happened is when you level up to that next level, you have a little bit more control. At that next level, when you're the owner of the means of production, you have a lot more say in how things are going to happen. So if I have a job, not only can I not pass that job to my children, but also that job, my ability to do that job is heavily dependent on the decisions being made by the people who own the means of production. If the people who own the company decide I won't have a job anymore, then I won't have a job anymore. They can eliminate me.